Yeah! I just realised I drank your water too, so I'll get your fresh
That's totally fine. I smashed this out last night because these guys were like, hey, come talk this morning because we just need to find someone. So that's the honest truth. So most of this is, well, let's just crack on. So Keepspace itself, it's an e-commerce fulfillment, and the focus is always the vision of what we're trying to do. So my genuine vision with our team is to empower and build and be a bridge between people, country, and draw them closer together to know each other more and care. I think that's probably the core foundation of what this is all about. Then everything else sort of flows through, which is about the products and the service, about who we are. So this is, you know what, I'll just let this guy tell you.
Hey, I'm Ben.
So that was Ben. He's been with us for a while. And so he pretty much puts all his goods in our warehouse and sends them out. And there's a whole bunch of them that are in this space. So we support a lot of the e-commerce players out here in Perth and overseas, where they put their goods in our warehouse and we distribute their goods on their behalf as they just work their arse off creating content, making distribution arrangements, making sure the product's in a good position, their next product that they're going to release, building their team. So we work on their ops side and partner with them to go through that process. So we've been at this for a while, and I was back here with Dave and Scott when this place was over there, and then back with the previous boys when we were in a circle crying in the corner about how hard it is for startups and how difficult making money is, and that was good times. So this has been a long-term journey, and I'm going to try and smash it out in what I could share with you in how we've been able to get that to happen. So the way that we've been doing it is we've ran, right now to date for Keepspace, has been 7 live events. We've got 49 podcasts on our Anchor FM. We've got about 108 YouTube videos on our YouTube channel, and we've been doing that for about 4 years. So my job is to share with you how to do marketing and to make an impact in what you're trying to present to the world. So disclaimer, this is literally information based on my experience only. I do not recommend for any person unless they want to go at risk to losing their own money and time. So like, it's a pinch of salt, peeps. Just take it with what's there. So based on this content that I smashed together last night, we'll just go through some egg-sucking things on buyer personas, then how to get those personas to go to the right channels, then your strategy plan to release that content to those channels, then the actual execution of doing that, reviewing the feedback, repeat. That's literally it. Like, it's not that hard. Personas. If you do not know what personas is, and I'm super sorry for the guys who are marketing experts, effectively a persona is to get an idea of who your dude or dudette is that you want to sell to, right? So let's say for this guy, it's Max the Mogul, right? Max the Mogul is super interesting, and that's the guy you want to sell to. Frankly, they're the only ones that are really important. All the rest is shit. Don't worry about it. And effectively, what you want to do is get the person's name, the demographics of that person, how much coin they're bringing into their pocket, understand they're identifying things. So the guy's super stubborn and driven. He's got super goals to make a big business. Challenges, his time poor. So what can you do? You want to save his time. Real quotes, he's like, blah, blah, I don't give a shit. Give me to the point. Objections is it expensive? And then marketing message is like, yeah, we're going to save you time and we're going to make you more money. Pretty simple stuff. You get that, and then you got to find content that you got to build to get that person to like you. So you got to give them information. You got to kind of be a bit fun and entertaining so they remember you. And if you can, put those two together and make a story. That's really it. If you make a story and connect with the dude or dudette that you want to connect with, you're kind of in the game and you start hitting the likability factor. But then, you know, you got to start putting it out there. So you got your content, you got an idea of what your content's going to be. Then you got your channels to focus on. You guys will be very aware of this. Blogging has been around forever. Podcasting has been around for 15 years, give or take. Events have been around since ever. So the main thing when you're putting your advertising together, this is very, very broad, so just don't brutalize me. But effectively, blogging is mostly for SEO, to be able to get those meta tags in, get your get your content pieces connected to Google Analytics. Your podcast is usually info-based. You do get entertaining people that go in there, but most of the time it's info-based where they just want to know more and follow on your journey. And events are they're networking. I'm going to talk to you for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then you're going to sit there and talk for 20 minutes, mostly to yourselves, and really all you want to do is talk to each other. So I'm just, I'm holding that back. So that's where you find that come through. But to be honest, it's about the human connection part. You really want to build human connections. And building human connections is what gets the sale. Like, period. So how can we make human connections? And I can't think of a better way than to make videos that people can watch you, build a relationship with you visually, so that when they see you physically, if they can at least say, that guy's not full of shit, kind of knows what he's talking about, I'll give it a try, and I'll buy. That's usually the way it goes through. So we thought, how can we execute the plans? We use Week Done, and we use Monday.com. And as you've probably seen, Monday.com has smashed the advertising like something serious. So we thought, well, let's give them a little bit of return, see how they go. They haven't failed yet, so we're sticking with it for now. Oh yeah, you got to do all that stuff too. So that's just normal Adobe jazz. So then once you put all that together, I'm going to show you a little bit of a journey that we did with 3 videos of the process of our studio type situation.
We have made this all ourselves.
Cool. So we started there. As you can see, it's wooden boards left over from our racking with some pallets on the floor, with the floor that's not sealed, with 2 cameras being played. We're not trying to sugarcoat it because you can try and get high-end production, spend lots of money, and get nothing for return of that. And the factor of that is that in this process, we recognize that if it's going to be video we're going to release, we could try and make it super newsworthy type production level, or we can share a journey. Now, which one is usually the one that people are going to connect with? Now, in my experience, when I play a video game or something like that, especially an MMO, I usually connect best with dudes and dudettes who are just straight off level 1s, and we're all like, hey, you're level 1, hey, I'm level 1, oh, let's go together, and off we go. And then we make, and then we progress together. So we figured using a concept of, hey, I'm a startup, oh, cool, let's make friendship and like talk about all the dramas together. And so the process of a journey was the way we figured we're going to go through, because in our particular marketing strategy, we recognize that businesses that we wanted to connect with, they take about 2 years to become to a stage where our service even becomes relevant. Because usually in the beginning, they're like, okay, I'm going to make a product. Cool. I'm going to talk to China. Great. Oh, the negotiation failed. Okay, I got to go sort out a website. Great. Who do I talk to? Oh, cool. I got that one. I need to get a marketing person. I need to get someone to help me with sales. So you go through all this stuff and all this learning. And I've been trying to shorten that learning process, but you just can't. People are strange. You just can't do it. So you have to just let them take that walk. And if you can just be on the walk with them, then when that walk reaches a point, conversion might be possible. Might be possible. Nothing's for sure. So then if they come on that walk and then conversion might be possible, then it becomes a lead, and then you go through your standard lead processes and then your funnels and then turn them into onboarding and blah, 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 blah. So we figured if we could do that and show that on our channels, then that might be building the things we always care about, which is building trust, transparency, showing integrity, keeping a consistent message, and all those things that we all shine for. So we did that from that first video you saw. That was like November last year. And then we made an update to the studio, and this was 2 months ago.
Made from China. So, the main reason.
All right, cool. So that happened, and we thought, like, the idea is we want to build connection. We want to just connect. We don't want to be too serious, and I want to make fun of myself because I figured I am not a professional in this, and I'm pretty sure everyone that wants to do this is not a professional either. So why even bother trying? Like, they're going to see through you, they're going to see you're full of shit, and they're going to call you out. And they're going to call you out in the comments. They're going to just call you out. So we figured in our industry, it's logistics and transportation, and we're falling into SaaS. They're all pretty serious people, right? So how do you stand out in a serious community? Well, you just be the funny guy and just try and see that you know what you're talking about, but at least do it in a funny way. So we figured if we could do that, that would be something that would connect. And it's kind of going that way. And this last video I'll show you, in that previous video, as you can see, we started it in a place and then we started to invest into it because we started to see the analytics and the changes within the value we were providing. We thought, this is starting to show some progress. So as the progress was going forward, we started adding more of that progress into it. So this is the last one, and I'll show you a portion of this video, and I'll show you what it looked like on our Facebook analytics page to show you what kind of result difference something like this makes. Again, I'm just being my authentic self, talking as I am to you now, just doing it on a screen.
For promoting them, we just thought we'd share with you what we did. So we did a brief.
Cool.
And in that,
You get the point. So I'm just sharing like the story and what's going on. The stuff you'd normally talk within your internal team, I'm just putting it out to the public because we figured the buyer personas I shared with you are e-commerce people that are running it through. And our buyer persona people are usually solo entrepreneurs, or they're usually at a team of 3 or 5 max, and they're wanting to connect. Now, if someone's going to trust you with stuff that's really important to them, they're going to know, you at least know your stuff and what you're doing. And so that's how we continue to just tell them what's going on in Keepspace. It's not that exciting. It's a logo release. It's a logo. Fucking everyone comes out every day. So the interesting thing is that logo video did the best. It is a standard video. Nothing, as you just saw, was super game-changing, but it's the human connection that just keeps landing. So we figured, well, we're going to do more of those. And because, frankly, putting a post out about Anzac Day or some kind of meme of interesting or Happy Easter, yeah, it's nice, touch the fuzzies, but it's not going to do anything serious about your connection with the people you're trying to talk to, because all people have ever cared about, it sounds super selfish and super sad, but the data shows accuracy to it, is that they care about themselves. And if they care about themselves, they want to make sure you care about what they care about. And if you care about what they care about, then they can connect with you on that caring factor. And then they're like, here's my money. So in that statement, let's talk about the endurance of doing this. Everyone's like, I'm going to start a podcast because it sounds like such a good idea. Let's do one. And they usually quit after the 10th episode. That's fact. People are like, oh, this is so much work. I'm done. 8 months down the road. You've done fuck all. Fuck all. You've done nothing. And then they go into YouTube and they're like, you know what? I want to do this. And I'm sure you guys may have kids. And they're like, Dad, I want to be a YouTube influencer. That's my goal in life. They'll finish after the first year. So let them do it. Let them feel it. Let them get through it. And then they'll move on to real things. And the fact is, the reason why most people do this is because it's a disconnect to what they're trying to do. And the disconnect is they're hoping for something instant, like your Google advertising or your Facebook post, and they're hoping a return on that money that they've just put down will come back to them like that. Ain't gonna happen. So in our journey, in reality of this thing, we started a blog like everyone else did back then. Content was good. Again, these are our orders that come through. So after we did that, we started doing the bloggy videos, getting the phone, showing the videos, putting it on YouTube, putting it on LinkedIn, putting it on Facebook. You guys probably are all doing this right now if you got permission from your CEO. And it starts to connect and land. Then we started putting it in our events. Now, events were super helpful, not really relevant to this talk, but that's kind of where we started it. And then we started the podcast not too long after that. Podcasts do hold strength because you are making connections with people. It's just all audio-based, so there is a limited audience factor to that, because some people will listen, some people won't. Some people listen for a while. If you land a group and you got your 100 true fans, 1,000 true fans, it works out pretty well. but it's super long enduring. So we've been doing that for 2 years, and it's still a grind. Like numbers on our podcast, less than 50 listens. We only peaked 60 for one of our most recent discussions because it's taken 2 years. You just can't beat the curve. And then we thought, well, let's drop some serious coin in, and we start, because now this is the stuff that we started with, and we built connections and friendships along the way here. Then obviously we've got money, and so then we started to invest a bit more seriously into it. So do you have to start a like hardcore editing function and drop, 25K into this? No, you don't have to do that. Just start with the simple stuff and then get more studio-based when you finally have it in your marketing budget to pull it off. And here we go. So this is Google Analytics. Google Analytics on the YouTube side. So normally you've got analytics that show through. The benefit of the evergreen effect of YouTube videos is the evergreen effect. Sorry, I didn't say that right. So we released different videos throughout the time. And as you can see, I didn't circle this, I just stuck that on. If you can't see it, we did a feature update, which gives 49 views. Then there was a Keepspace testimonial, that one you just saw. It's already got 77. Like, it's not huge numbers because, again, it's only mostly recent. But something that's interesting is that the how to start a Tmall and Taobao store in China, that took 876. I'm like, what? Where did that come from? And so then we started to redirect our communication towards where the numbers are showing more interest. And frankly, when we look the search up, it's just because not many people are posting or showing content in that space. So then we found like an opportunity to talk about it. Is it our space to go into that communication channel right now? Not yet, but it gives thought for what people are interested in. So it's cool. But the interesting thing is that video went out like back here. So you can put a post on Facebook, right? Or you can put, and you guys all know this, you put something on LinkedIn, you'll get instantaneous views pretty quick. But as soon as you choose through that feed, it's gone. You're not going to get anything else. But within YouTube, at least if it's searched and it's part of their algorithm and you're part of that library and they start searching or they're on your channel, at least you're going to continue to get views and checkouts for at least 2 years for that piece before it becomes irrelevant. So YouTube's pretty good. If you're going to get into it, I guess that's a pretty good idea. So again, going into the investment side, is there a return? Yes and no. Like, yes, if you're hoping to find something long-term. No, if you're trying to get something sorted out for this financial year. That's just what it is, which I'm going to go through. So the best analogy I can give, and this is where I'll end it, really all you're trying to do is get all your resources, all your wood, and make a big-ass bonfire. And people will see it in the distance, and you just have to wait until they all come around and join you and stick with you through it. That's probably the best thing I can analyze on YouTube. And it takes a while, but if you're willing to just stick at building it, you'll get your fans. That's pretty much it.
Thank you very much, Jesse. Is there any questions?
I've got one on your insurance. So that's been a perennial problem of mine. It's the same way. Just get some effort, get some enthusiasm, and then it drifts away.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, we've got any pointers for how much time you've had to invest in this, and whether you've given it to one person or spread it across a team or that type of, what worked for you?
So in my situation, we invested into an individual in the team, and he wanted to drive it. His name was Simon. And he's been driving the podcast, and it's been working well. But it does, it sort of thins out, because then you go like, all right, I got to find another person to speak to. I got to get another interview set up, and that it does, like, we were super consistent for like the first year, releasing every second week, and then there's like 6 months of nothing, and then there's like a couple months, and then there's maybe 2 months of nothing. So the process, to be honest with you, you do sort of hit a burnout with, if it's consistently the same thing, it just gets a bit rough. So the only thing really is putting in a scheduling system. You have to follow the scheduling system. You have to dedicate usually about a day and a half to it, because, or you got to hire and spend in salary-based levels. You got to be looking about 150K to spend. So that's like if you want quality editing and a decent person to run it, so that you can work on, you know, organizing investments, doing sales, taking care of HR, all the other jazz. But internally, I think personally, the strongest connection is when the leader of your team is the one on the stage. Saying that has to be a CEO, like CEO, yeah, the founder. Yeah. Usually, it's the strongest point. If you get people internally, you do run the risk that the internal people who are doing it with you, you'll get maybe a year and a half, 2 years. Then they're like, time for a new job, I'm out. And then you're like, what am I going to do with this audience who have built trust with this person in my team? I got to pay a more salary. I don't know what I'm going to do. And so if someone who you know is like, if you're the owner, you're the owner of your biz, you got to put yourself on stage, man.
Well, we've often used someone who is enthusiastic at it, but it wanes, right? And so that's part of it. But I like your approach of just being honest and building that honesty. So what I'm worried about is we have brought in externals before, is that they're very slick, but it doesn't represent us at all.
Yeah, yeah.
So that also is useful.
You touched on something there that's really important. It's culture, right? You are the culture. You girls are, you know, the culture heads. You guys run with the team, and they'll have a culture head. The culture head's going to lead it you want to work with businesses and people that get you as well. So if you try to facade something you're not, you can do it for a while, but then it pulls away, and it's very easy to see it crack through. If you get someone super slick, like you just said, it's just not enduring. And the thing about business is you gotta be doing it for 10 years. And so if you're gonna do a business for 10 years and you care about what you gotta do, you're gonna be the one with the microphone, and you have to talk about it, and it's just part of everything else. Not everyone likes it, because as you can see, I'm in amazing shape. So, but you just gotta do it. Yeah.
How do you manage that sort of being casual, funny, and sort of getting across when the environment of the sales, sort of the market you're in, is like I said, super strict and stifled. Like in the tech world, it's so boring sometimes.
Yeah.
Paint dry because it's more exciting.
Yeah.
And it can be funny, and it can be funny to look at least. But how do you then give people confidence that they can trust you to make that conversion?
It's the same as when you're doing a release with product. So you can do 3 pieces content, 1 piece products. In the space that you're in, and I know what it's like, you got memes that's like, here's a bug, and like, oh, I fixed one, now there's 1,000 more, you know. And the memes in the development space are you got a lot of different memes. And developers, as anal as some of them can be, if you're that kind of persona, like you already know, like I need super accuracy on my code and I gotta get that developed right, and you start speaking their language and you just start talking about themselves, and you don't mind having a joke every now and again just to break up the info. Because the info, if you monologue it, you'll hold attention for a period and then it just breaks. Because they'll zone out and then they'll go back to work and then they're like, oh, yeah, cool. And then you lose them, right? So if you have a crack at yourself, you and I both know developers are not like the athletes of the world. Like, they sit down a lot in their things. So they're already going to connect with you on that level. So you can just be honest and say, like, you know, maybe talk about things that they should be doing, but then also talk about their code, and just be real, dude. Like, you just want to make friends. Yeah, I hope that helps.
Cool. Any other questions? Yeah, I've got one. Sorry, am I good?
I was just gonna ask, do you have any tips on comments on like finding like where you get inspiration from or finding content? Is it like, you know, things that are happening in the business in the future? they need to talk about, or?
So this took a while because you then start to think, oh, well, what am I going to tell them? What can I tell them? What should I say? What's sensitive? It got to a point that we just accepted that things that are generically you would share in a team meeting became the stuff that we can share to the world. Because they got social media, they got to tell their boss, they got to tell their friends, so you got to tell them, they'll tell the world. So you just might as well beat them to the punch and tell everyone else the same thing. You have a team meeting, you're like, okay guys, we're going to launch this new product. It's going to be amazing. It's 6 months away from now, but let's try. Oh wait, there's a market for that. It's just like you do a crowdfunding program and you do the same thing. So you just put that on your channel, you say, hey guys, we're thinking about this new product. We want your feedback. That way you get instant feedback. You're doing a survey. And whatever you're doing in your business, like I didn't really go into it here, but if you're going to present something, get your feedback from the team, from the people, get the comments, read the comments, even though they may be really mean, and repeat the content out. So that way it is a dialogue, and then the inspiration becomes more organic. Sometimes if you're grinding for content, you're like, what am I going to tell them? You can just start with talking with the community at large, get interviews in, talk with them. They then give you content. Like this right now is a video presentation Ian is making. We're going to make this content, and then we'll break this up and make snippets of it, and then put it out to social media. So every time you're in the public eye, or even in your team, it's an opportunity to make something. So you just got to put it into a habit and just get used to this. I'm just talking in circles.
So is it like a videographer on a full-time basis at your company that's just sort of following you around and viewing stuff?
Oh no, I'm not like Kardashian type level. I'm just we just
We have like a daily thing that you do on video or like part of your process.
yeah, we aim to hit 2 videos a week to release, just because we found that's a good staple. With that in mind, if the editing process, Ian will tell you, you can get about a day into it. When you start cutting it up, cut out, you can keep some of the ums and ahs in, but then you want to maybe emphasize it, so you got to put some work in there and chuck it on After Effects or Premiere. And it just takes a while. So if I spent all the time doing that, yeah, I'm not making sales. I'm not making improvements to the warehouse. I'm not doing the team meetings. So I need to outsource that or bring someone into the team with that, just because we still want to have a microphone. We still want to tell the world we're relevant. So yeah, you got to invest into it, whether yourself or you got to put the coin down. It's just, yeah.
With the podcast, so you put that up on Anchor FM, I assume, and that goes out to Spotify and
Yes.
podcast players. You get 50 listeners per episode. How do you grow that? Like, do you just promote it on all the socials? And I know Spotify doesn't have like a recommendation engine that you can sort of play to your advantage, or how does that work?
I'd have to say you kind of answered the question. You put out the post. So the question was like, if you make a post of your podcast, how can you get it out to the world? It's just as you said, like you make the podcast, you release it, then you put it on your social media channels. Anyone who's already following you or anyone who's listening to you already will just grab it in. You can put it in your email list and try and grab new people that are built into your sales funnel and maybe get some new listeners that way. But I choose to go organic because I don't want to throw hundreds of dollars at posts to try and lift episodes. It doesn't seem good spend to me. Yeah.
I guess Spotify's recommendation engine is all around how many listens have you got, how many people.
Yeah. Like you can hack it and throw, 30 grand at marketing, but you could put that 30 grand to something else in the team or expanding it internally. If you got to throw lots of money at posts to lift up videos or lift up podcasts, it's like you're shining up a piece of shit and you're hoping it looks good enough that someone else will listen to the next piece of shit. And it doesn't work. You're just burning cash. You just got to improve your journey of your communication as the months go by.
How do you find enough content to write about?
you just keep doing it. there's no real answer. Like, there's no real. Hang on, let me think about this. How do you just make more content? Honestly, today's a good example. I'm going to go back to the office. I'm going to talk about with the team how we're going to do product presentations, because in our space there are e-commerce sellers. What they want to do is they want to be able to sell more products, like backpack. If they want to sell more products, how can we use our existing channels to help them? Because if we help them sell more products, they create more orders, which then for us creates more revenue for our services. So we figured, why don't we get them in and do a QVC type thing, and then let them show their products, talk with them, push it up, and then they get access to our channel. Now, frankly, everyone's looking for media outlets. Everyone's trying to find themselves, make themselves relevant. If we're putting in the work to build a channel and a community, then maybe they'll buy from them. And for us, then we generate content. So it's connecting with your business model, finding the people that are relevant to the model. If there is a connection on revenue basis, long term, you got content all day, baby. Yeah.
Cool. Or,
If you had $500 to spend today, so there's you can do freelancer, video editors, cameras, and software and all that, where would you put that $500 to get started making content?
All right. Do I have a phone?
Yeah, you got a phone.
Okay, I got a phone. Do I have a website?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a product?
Yes, sort of.
Okay, I sort of got a product. Okay, cool. I got $500. Do I have a YouTube channel?
No.
Do I have a Facebook channel? All right, I'd make those first. And then I would get my phone, and then I would be like, "Yo, what's up? Hey guys, I just started this new product. Content piece releaser. Hey guys, look, this is my kind of product. I'm thinking of doing it. What do you think?" Push that out. So I haven't spent any money yet. Okay guys, I'm thinking like, I'm gonna do this on a crowdfunder because I've got no money. Would this be something of interest to you? Put that out. Get the feedback, take the feedback in. Hey guys, thank you for the feedback. You know what, I'm thinking this piece of what Jeremy said is really good. Thank you, Jeremy, so much. You know what, I'm gonna put that through, and then you push that out. Someone sees it and they're like, dude, love your content. Hey, can I help? I'm a video guy, but I work's dry right now. So like, sweet man, let's work together. Let's collaborate. So he comes in, he's holding the camera for you. You're like, hey dude, look, I'm thinking to put this through. We're gonna do a quick advertising on the products, and we're gonna try and push this out because we gotta make sales. Push that piece out. Then, hey guys, we're doing a sales right now for this. It's now kind of finished. It's beta, some bugs in it, but it's working. Give it a try. Put 300 to that and leave it through. You don't need to spend to post. I mean, advertisers will tell you to spend, but at that stage where you're at, I wouldn't, because you're just gonna, it's gonna frivel away for no reason. That's just my experience for the last 10 years of working in startups and early stage businesses. I just feel like you could spend the money elsewhere.
my business spends £4 a month on social media advertising, and I always go to the marketing team and go,
What are you doing?
it's almost like I need to spend that now to just be in the game.
Yeah,
You know?
the truth.
I think it's
He's right.
$700 on Facebook, and I think it's £2 on Google, and it's just like, crap.
He's absolutely right. The only way you're really gonna get money for return is if like you have a final product piece, it's ready for release, you've built a small audience that have followed you to that point, and you're like, okay guys, we're now giving this as a cold sale to everyone. Google Ads, put it out there, then you go into your standard advertising, you're working on your keywords, and then that goes in, because you're cold selling then. You're like searching for people who don't know anything about you, and then that's where the money goes in for that. The content side is total time. It's not really, and equipment if you wanted to do that. If you really wanted to spend $500 in that scenario, maybe a tripod, maybe a lapel, $80. That's about it. Just improving quality of your content. But I wouldn't stretch that until, you know.
What I see, where I wouldn't spend far too much time watching YouTube videos, and what I see is you'll see the YouTubers that have done it well or using it. So essentially, it's not like Jesse, it's their primary source of income. They make the advertising.
Yeah.
They do collaborations with other YouTubers. So they
That's
then
right.
make content, they all both film the same thing, and then they distribute it, and then they go and check out Jesse's channel.
Yes.
Jesse goes, go check out Dave's channel.
Yeah.
And so I think basically what that comes down to, and that's where we're focusing, is on partnerships. So find a company that complements your company,
Yes.
and then share that. So like yours, you could be your pack back, partner with Shake and Back, freshen the carpets, or something like that, and that's how you then start to, it's a complementary product for yours, and how you...
I'm going to touch on one last thing, Dave, and then I'll pass this over in humility. So, I forgot your name, sorry. Anita raised up something in regards to sponsorships and collaborations, which Dave just touched on. If you're working in a business and you're, especially you lovely ladies in the gut space, if you're trying to find a way to collaborate with different people who have influencing space, there is contract structures that can work if you're wanting to do collaborations initially, but it always works better, as Dave said. If you've already got a channel and you've already worked on it yourself, it works so much easier because the influencer or the other person who's got a media following can connect with your type of messaging structure and then work with you in that. And then that way, that is a serious opportunity to create a lot of revenue if you set up your funnels really well, which I won't talk about. That's it.
Perfect.